It's a kind of classical mantra of anybody who's blooping. Did you ever heard that? I could give you a blooping tape. Just recorded speech of a blooper. It's always the same thing. I have to clear my name. You know, it was slandered in ISKCON. As if your good name will not be slandered amongst the karmis. Don't worry, it will. Because in Kali nobody has something good to say about anybody. So, to clear my name, that's usually the mantra you hear when somebody walks out of the door. Or, you know, this is still quite standard agitation. The real madness is when somebody says, no, I have to save you all. I mean, it's just, you're also fallen, I have to leave you to save you. You know, something like that. That's really madness. That means, you know, I have to be saved. Krishna said that sometimes. In Germany I experienced many times. They have nothing to say, they cannot argue, there is no rational exchange. They go, I pray for you. You know, you are in a grip of Satan. You know, and you think, okay, who is Satan? And okay, please save me. How do you save me? Oh, I'm praying for you. You know, it's like, because there's nothing more to say. So, this is all different symptoms which, how Maya works. So, Kama Mishra Bhakti is basically the standard, yes. We want something. That means karma is there, lust is there. And it's deep-rooted, it's in the heart. We don't even know how we make our, another symptom of Kama Mishra Bhakti, that we make our incompetence to a virtue. I'm a simple man. I don't need any money. Well, because you cannot make any. No. I like celibacy. Because you cannot establish the contact which is needed. At least that minimum contact which is needed to have sex. No, I'm celibacy. And that will be all tested. Therefore you see such a neophyte, when he recuperates and he gets more the facilities. Like examples through preaching, you can get easy to females. Before he couldn't, because he had nothing to say. He was in a social case. So through preaching, suddenly he just realized they are listening. That's great. And then, you know, and then you use, that's really offensive, you use preaching to establish your sex life. Oh yeah, we all have practical experience. We know how it works. And we know how it ends also. Prabhupada writes even, such an artificial renunciate is heading for Vrindavan. Because he crashed with his business, his family kicked him out, so he's heading for Vrindavan. Not a bad idea. Yeah, but he is not qualified to be in Vrindavan. His heart is still full of material desires. But he puts up a big show of yogi, renunciate. You know, he is so simple, he has nothing to dress because, there's no money. And then at the same time, for Vrindavan, heads a big yogini who has the idea that from a powerful yogi comes a powerful child. So it's more child-oriented. So she enters Vrindavan with a false, expectation and false attitude, meeting another false yogi with a false exhibition of devotion. They meet, and what do? The same thing they did before. They start, a family like that. So they replay the whole thing like this. So therefore it's not easy to stay in Vrindavan, in the holy places. It's not easy. Because the level of agitation may be raised to such a degree that we have to leave. Dhammakanda Maharaj told me, Vrindavan, first week, the level of the senses. The senses go, wow, Krishna everywhere, and you experience emotions, even transcendental emotions. They are real. They are real. They are not fake. But what you do with them, that's another thing. So you feel like, oh, of course I'm Krishna conscious. Wonderful. Yeah. The next week comes the mind, comes back and goes, do you remember? And in Vrindavan it really hurts. As one of my godbrothers said, while sitting on Govardhan Hill, at Govardhan Hill, chanting 60 rounds, he said, you know what happened to me after I was finished with round number 60? I remember the last concert of Rolling Stones I joined before I came to this movement. And I was wondering, what are Rolling Stones doing at Govardhan? And I laughed loudly at the madness of my mind. You know, in holy places the mind becomes like amplified. You can hear it. You go, wow, what a thought, where is this coming from? So that's the next stage. And then comes the intelligence which already starts to make plans, being in union with the false ego, how to get out of this unpleasant place. Because my thoughts become here so amplified, and my material desires become so amplified here. Let's go somewhere where the echo is not so strong. Then you go to the West again. Because here, it's definitely not so strong. You pick, me pick, not so big difference. Oh, so what? You know, me thinking about something horrible, you thinking about something horrible. Yeah, so what? Wow. Thinking? No problem. You know, so it doesn't hurt so much, like when you are in such a pure place. So Krishna consciousness is challenging, because with some symptoms of advancement, the purity level is rising, but so does also the exposure of desires, exposure of very deep-rooted habituation, anarthas. It comes up more, and we will be confronted with that. Therefore, it's so important that devotee is rightly situated. Prabhupada considers this situation like Varnashrama Dharma, being situated for the war. Like in a war is very important how you are fortified, or which location you occupy. When you are in a valley and the enemy is attacked from above, you are in a bad shape. So you have to get yourself into some protected situation, which is still not ultimate protection. No, not at all. But from there you can fight. You know, you fortify yourself. That's where the ashramas comes into the picture. And they go along the Varna. Once the Varna is clear, then the ashrama is automatically defined. So it's one has to be also properly situated. You see devotees prematurely assigning themselves to some kind of avadhuta stage, and they never leave the mental platform. It's impossible. It just flops them around the mind, unsteadiness, agitation, sankalpa, vikalpa, the mind is pulling back and forth, back and forth. So therefore this is actually where the need arises to be really properly situated. So before we reach this kind of platform, but we can know it, this is very good information. We know that before we have this, our hairs are not standing on end, and our voice doesn't falter, these symptoms are not unreachable. In the presence of Srila Prabhupada, this did happen. It was not actually difficult to experience the symptoms in presence of Srila Prabhupada, because he, in his presence, he tear down the covering of the conditioned soul so instantly that you could actually experience glimpses of this. But it can be covered again. But nevertheless the experience was there, so for anybody associating with Srila Prabhupada directly never forgot that, because he connected you to Krishna so powerfully that you get actually the experience of your own identity as the eternal part of Krishna, an eternal servant of Krishna. And when Prabhupada is not directly in his Vapu form available, there were those who start to struggle because they were naturally returning back. When Prabhupada used the word natural in his lectures, he used it quite often. He never means natural or spiritual. That's kind of misleading to you. Oh, Prabhupada said it's natural. No, he means it's going to be automatically happen under the dictation of material nature. Well, yeah, that's natural. When you are hungry, you want to eat, that's natural. You know? But actually, as a spiritual soul, You don't have to follow these impulses. So we can examine ourselves. Therefore, being introspective, which is a popular subject today, introspective. First I have to develop love of Godhead, then I can preach. I have enough to do. Yes, I'm humble. I know how fallen I am. No, this is not the way Prabhupada gave. Prabhupada said, the best defense is a good attack. So if you actually attack Maya, then she will fight. She will come back on you. And in this way, we actually become spiritually strong. So this introverted path, first I have to become Krishna conscious. Then Prabhupada gave us a simultaneous process. To the degree we attack Maya, to the degree we have to become Krishna conscious, is a challenging situation. And that's how spiritual progress is conducted. Not that first, we have to focus on ourselves, then we can turn our attention to public. Both ways must be there simultaneously. And that will happen automatically. Because when you are thrown into water, you have to introspectively consider how to learn to swim. Otherwise you will drown. So it's a very fast process of learning. And that's generally what Prabhupada did. He threw us in situations. We should always remember, most of the time, we are operating in situations we should not be. We should not be in situations we are operating in. This is only by Prabhupada's mercy. When he says, no, you have to do that, then we are authorized to do this. Otherwise, in our own card, we are not qualified. We are not qualified to do what we are doing. Starting with puja, ending up with public preaching. What is our qualification? What did we do? We have no culture, we have no cultural background, we have no real training. Whatever the training is also an issue, training. But training requires also somebody who is capable to accept that training. Like, you can train only according to the abilities of that person. Like somebody likes to train to become a perfect musician. Well, some simply cannot. They tell you that. They tell you in a music academy, you can bend to at home on some parts, but you will not become a professional drummer because you cannot even keep the beat. So, sorry. They tell you that sometimes. And if somebody is introspective, he thinks, well, maybe I shouldn't be a musician. But our problem is we assign ourselves to positions also excessively which we don't belong to. And there's no need to belong to them even. I remember during Hare Krishna time here, there was all these musicians, everybody was a musician. We had in Germany one devotee, he was a musician, he carried the guitar all the time. He joined with the guitar. And then there was this music production during Hare Krishna, and he wanted also to produce music. In 5 minutes in a music studio it was discovered, the man has no hearing, he cannot keep a beat. And then they asked him, who told you this, that you are a musician? And then it was discovered, he was just told from the moment he was born, he is a musician. By his parents and by his friends. But he wasn't. I remember maybe Zoe coming around here in Scandinavia. I forgot that name, what was his name? He was a devotee who looked like somebody you could immediately call upon if your toilet is broken or the pipe is broken. Or, oh, that's our man, come help. But he was very upset about it. Anytime we addressed him as a Shudra, he was very upset. He said, I'm not a Shudra, I'm a Brahmana. But anytime we opened a book, he fell asleep. But it was discovered he is really good in fixing things. So he was always, hey, can you fix this? And he said, well, okay, but it's not my thing, but he did it really nicely. It came to a point, I had to take the man in a room, I had him in Stockholm, and I said, why are you torturing yourself like this? Look, you can do very nicely this, you're really good at this. And he said, well, that's not me. And he said, well, how do you know it's not you? And then he started. Of course. The mother was a teacher and the father was professor. And they never admitted that their child could be just a normal Shudra. So they were pumping this on him. And he was going even through education, He had a quite high-ranking education, because the Shudras can do that. You repeat and yes, yes, yes. You make the cross on the right point, and then you have a degree. It doesn't require some big, big innovation brain. So this is how mistaken one can be. Our material world is full of this. Everybody is thinking he is something. And therefore, sometimes we don't dance, sometimes we don't sing loudly, and sometimes we don't cry out of ecstasy, we cry out of misery. Because we always try to be something we are not. And that's why they cannot express our transcendental jubilation, which has to be there somewhere. If you see a devotee performing steadily service, there must be some ruchi, some taste. But there are different levels of devotional service, but it cannot come to full bloom because of these misconceptions. Sometimes also because of plainly of a loss of sense control. So there are certain practical requirements to come to these symptoms, and they are just clearly described, we know from Nectar devotion and we know from the Shastra. So Prabhupada always issued this heavy warning, you should not imitate. You should not imitate, you should follow. So this is given to a devotee, these symptoms. He is not producing them. He is not even, as long as we think like this, like thinking, what is my spiritual identity? That means we don't know. Because when we really are blessed, blessed means it's revealed to us, then we don't have to think about this even. This happens completely naturally and completely automatically, you could say, due to the purity of the performer. There's some questions or comments? Yeah.
I have a question to book distribution, because yesterday I was in Christianshavn and I was distributing a lot of books to young people, and then when I came home I told the devotees some of the encounters, and then then I told the devotees about some of the encounters I had during the day.
Yeah.
And in Christianshavn I developed one mantra. I tell the people going to Christiania that this book is very nice for reading out loud once you get a little intoxicated. So, and then they were saying, hey, be careful that you don't create some Abba Sampradaya out there where they just sit and read Bhagavad Gita and smoke hashish. So I was just wondering,
well, we had the invitations in the early days of hippie ISKCON, Shin Hare Krishna, stay high forever, things like that. It was used, but it's of a temporary nature. Basically, Prabhupada approved anything what makes him to take the book. That's the important part. But it's a fact that we should not indulge with people I can say anything. Yesterday I read a really good mantra from a devotee who just died, Madhu Mangala, I remember that name. He was very often on the Sankirtan. Madhu Mangala, the Buddhist Buddha.
American or?
I think he was in South Africa, at least that's how it's reported. He was quite disturbing, so he just died. Oh, every song of the dying lately. So Vijay is remembering him, mentioning he was a very jolly guy. He was also very adventurous, quite an independent person, obviously. He was just traveling around a lot, always going to areas where other people didn't go and didn't want to distribute books. But he was very pleasant with devotees. So far, it's reported. And he had this one mantra, he told people, no, and then people said, this is about religion, He said, no, it has nothing to do with religion. There's something to do with you, how you become yourself. Because you are not yourself, isn't it? So this is like, you can say, how can you defy religion by distributing Prabhupada books? Well, actually we can, because Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, don't bother with religion. Surrender to me. So whatever it is, devotees usually pick up the local vibes, and they, in Germany you would not even get that far. People don't take that kind of time to hear from you in language. This is a really Danish thing. And you tell all the stories how you told him this and told him that, and then he said this and he said that. For me, still it sounds completely right from another world. In German, you wouldn't get even that far. No time, keine Zeit, keine Zeit. So you just go, hey, don't do that. And then you have to use this kind of punching words, like intoxicate, or, it's hot, and new, and bang, 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 bang. And then it's just a few minutes, it's over. Of course, maybe once a week you meet somebody who can say a few words more and get that kind of exchange. But this hygge, this Danish hygge, this, he's talking, well, I'm also talking. Oh, God. This is such a slow speed Sankirtan, it's unbelievable. In Germany, the books are becoming like bullets in a machine gun. Just, okay, the magazine is empty, reload. And then, how much does it take for the bullet to exit the machine gun? That's the time you have to distribute a book in Germany. Because they're all running. They're all just on the move. Everybody. Keine Zeit, keine Zeit. You go, no, I also have no time. No time, I also have no time. Bike, quickly, no time. Okay. And they throw the book in a backseat and go. It happens to you in the middle of the empty countryside. It's so pathetic. You stand in an empty countryside, there's a car coming, and he stops to empty out a mailbox or to throw some coffee, so you need to run to him. It's empty countryside. He stopped. He is maybe picking up some mail from a mailbox. And you go, hello! And he goes, hello! And then he drives off, It was 2 seconds in the middle of the countryside. It's mad. You think, what's the point here? Where's the rush? He's not pushed by anybody. No, they are pushed by themselves. That's their karma. They cannot sit. Germans are like whipped. Go, 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 go! They cannot, you see, even in they go on holiday, they cannot relax. They go, it's so unnatural here. Look, I'm sitting in Venice, And then they always observe, like police, They drink cappuccino in Venice. I saw it, I was there, and they sit in Canal Grande, and there's gondolas going, tum, tum, tum. And they sit there and they go, what kind of gondola is this? And why is he driving like that? And they cannot even enjoy anything. Because they are... But the Sankirtan devotees, they are like... For when you see Sankirtan devotees in Germany, they are also just... It's like a full-speed army, Not in a festival, so when they come, then they cool down. But when you see somebody loading the cars, it's like, it's real, like loading machine guns. So here, this Danish thing is, so whatever makes him to take the book, but it doesn't have to be, Prabhupada didn't like open lies. Selling Bhagavatam like a cookbook or whatever, it's ridiculous. You don't have to do that. So actually the level is very pleasant here. Because actually you can rephrase things. Yeah, you can rephrase things. This word intoxicating is used in advertisement quite often actually. It's an intoxicating experience. Especially I notice, advertisement is hilarious because advertisement is actually addressing the more subtle level of sensual desires. People study that. There's universities for that. How to sell things to people. In terms of form. Did you ever bought a square shampoo bottle? Just a box. They are all shaped already in a body form. And the color, the touch, everything is carefully researched. Why even the washing liquid for wool has the soft lines in it, Because immediately people go, oh, that makes the wool very soft, isn't it? The bottle is already saying that. I mean, advertisement is such a brainwashing on all levels. Prabhupada said even these cars they design, they are for sex life. Forms. It's all different rephrased shapes of female body. Especially the old American cars from the 60s when Prabhupada started to preach. They are like driving big beds, you know, yeah. And people use these cars for sex life anyway. So, you know, so American cars those days, you stop the car and it just goes still like this. Just whips you like into the sleep. Huge things. Prabhupada said all these forms, this Cadillac and all. This is all different, you know, forms rephrased from female body actually. Because female body combines touch, sound, form, smell. It's all packaged in. So this is what they try to reproduce. So when we sell things, books to very, very sensual people, yeah, devotee can use sometimes like this. I always quote my Gaura Prabhu who sold Nectar of Devotion in a brown package, inside marble color. That's the German Nectar of Devotion those days. He said, outside like chocolate, inside like marzipan. What had this to do with Nectar of Devotion? People bought this. Just, they got hungry. Okay. Chocolate, marzipan. How much? You know, yeah. I just remember him, seeing him 1 month or 2 months ago, and he remembers it still. And he still knows the mantra. You know, he just says that. He will say the same thing today. You can say, this is not on the level of the book. Well, on what kind of level are these people you speak to? What kind of, are they on the level of the book? Or how nice it would be if you could distribute it really on the level of the book, isn't it? To open this and they say, you know, Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya, look, pure Purana, you know. It's just the vocabulary being used in these books is for them like Chinese. They don't know what? Purified? Purified from what? I wash myself, I'm purified. You know. Or whatever you try to give even good advice, they immediately take a defensive position. You know, as is stated in the Shastra, if you give a good advice to a fool, he becomes angry. He feels offended. Well, why are you preaching to me? Well, do you think I don't know everything or what? I mean, what an offense to even try to preach him. Why? Preacher. Yeah, the preacher. Oh. So it's so difficult in Kali Yuga to find, because there's no culture, there's nothing. For me it would be just a minor detail. But one has to be careful not unnecessarily to join all this. You know, that's up to this discretion. That's the beautiful thing about Sankirtan. It's teaching you discretion and discrimination. It's not for Mayavadas. Because you have to discriminate all the time. How much to say, to whom, what, this, that, and it's very personal. It's person by person. This is what you deal with all the time. People even know that. It's like Mr. Fleming. He knows, I know, that he is not, you know, 100% well-wishing and charitable person. Otherwise he wouldn't make it there between his few piles of vegetable. So he smiles at me, he said, well, me little cheating, you getting vegetable. Welcome home. This is his concept of home. You come, you buy vegetable from me, I'm a great profit. On you, sir, not so much, which actually is true. Yeah, he's not so ruthless. And he looks kind of comical. He's a really character, that guy. You know, because we know each other now since 4 or 5 years, so he's a real